Question: how do you keep a meeting short, focused, and full of energy with everyone's full participation? Answer: make everybody stand up for the entire duration of the meeting. Hence the term the daily stand-up meeting, which has been popularized by several of the Agile methodologies. But I've seen it adopted by all different sorts of industries, all kinds of organizations. Lots of folks find value in this practice of a daily stand-up meeting. That said, I see teams that do a daily stand-up meeting that aren't quite sure why they're doing it. In Agile software development, the purpose of the daily stand-up meeting is for a team to plan and coordinate its work for that day. What are we going to do together in the next 24 hours, and what's our plan for collaborating? Who's going to work with whom? What's getting worked on? What are the priorities? What order do things need to happen in? That's the kind of plan. It's a daily planning session. Let me count down for you the top 4 problems I see people run into with daily stand-up meetings. Problem number 4 is when you have the wrong people participating or even present in the daily stand-up meeting. If the goal is for a team to plan its work, how they're going to work together, then get rid of everybody else that's not doing work together that day. This is not a meeting to report status to stakeholders or to superiors, or even to entertain interested onlookers. This is a meeting to plan our work for the day and figure out how we're going to collaborate. Get all those other people out of the room, you'll have a much more productive and focused and honest meeting, frankly. Coming in at number 3 on the list of top 4 problems is when teams come away from the daily stand-up meeting without an explicit goal. We should know at the end of a stand-up meeting what we're trying to hit in the next 24 hours, which stories we're trying to close, how much progress we're trying to make on other stories. Are there any things we're going to try to get open? Are there specific conversations we're going to have? What is our goal? How will we define success for the next 24 hours? Problem number 2 on our list of top 4 is when teams try to solve issues during the stand-up meeting. This is particularly tempting for remote or distributed teams where you're on some sort of video or teleconference for the stand-up meeting, and it can be tempting to try to knock off all the conversations we need to have during the stand-up meeting. My advice there is to raise issues during the stand-up meeting, but solve them after. Make a clear delineation with when the stand-up meeting ends, it's 10 minutes at the most, and then when other meetings or other conversations are happening. You can stay on the same video conference, but maybe you don't need the whole team for each one of those follow-up or problem-solving conversations. So raise issues during the meeting, solve them after the meeting. And the number 1 problem that I see with daily stand-up meetings is that they become too ritualized. People just start going through the motions because this is what we've always done, and this is when you forget the purpose of a stand-up meeting. Scrum popularized the 3 questions of what did I do yesterday, what am I going to do today, and do I have any impediments in my way? And those are great questions. I've seen a lot of effective stand-up meetings run using that format. But I've also seen meetings where people just give pat answers, there's no real information, there's no real planning, there's no real collaboration to those same 3 questions. So watch out for if your team is running into this problem. And my advice, if it's becoming too ritualized, is to mix it up. If you always go person by person, experiment instead with going story by story. If the same person always facilitates the meeting, rotate that responsibility. If you always look at the same screen in your electronic planning tool, see if there's a different visualization or maybe even something on the wall that would better help you make a plan and a goal for that day. So overall advice for better daily stand-up meetings is if your daily stand-up has become more ritual than useful, do something to change it.